My guest today is Zvi, a former chair of Maala, but is now chairing Co-Impact, helping companies to be able to employ more Arab Israelis.
Absolutely.
Zvi, what do you think has made Co-Impact such an important partner for so many businesses here in Israel?
The key for success was finding a business case. And the business case is the tight Israeli employment market. So when we approached, first of all, we thought that in order to move the needle substantially, you need to attract the business sector. And the business sector will do something seriously only if there is a business case. So we find a business case, it's a tight market, a tight employment market, and once we came to the companies and said, we are going to help you finding good candidates for the vacancies which you can't fill under the normal circumstances, the doors were open.
So essentially you're doing the due diligence in terms of candidates for companies to potentially employ.
Actually, I opened the eyesight to the excellent pool of candidates which exist in the Arab community, and I'm saying that the business sector unfortunately was blind to that pool. So now if you touch this pool and you can fill your vacancies, you actually create a business advantage on your competitors. And this is something which has been understood and adopted very quickly by the companies that join our initiative.
And as we look ahead, what's your vision for the expansion of the work of Co-Impact?
Okay, first of all, we have a strategic plan to engage the 100 leading companies in Israel within 10 years, 10 per annum. Until now, we live to that challenge. We have 30 companies already after 3 or so years of activity, and we are going, and I'm sure that we live to that target. So this is a managerial, let's say, challenge. My real hope is that once the number of companies that work with us is growing, so the business sector will become aware that there is a pool, also obviously companies that are not working with us. The business sector will be aware that there is a pool of candidates, that if you don't touch them, you put yourself in a competitive disadvantage, and you should adjust your recruitment process either independently or with help, not necessarily by us. There are some consulting companies that can help you, and if this is working as well as our initiative is working, so in 10 years our initiative is obsolete.
So effectively you hope to grow the market.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
And although you're targeting those 100 largest companies doing business in Israel, I'm assuming that you're also hoping that each of those 100 largest companies will be also opening up Co-Impact to their supply chain as well, and encouraging their suppliers to work with you.
Yeah, you're right, but this is the hope. Because we don't manage these companies, but we very much, quite soon they understand the advantage of diversity and inclusion, and if they enforce that, let's say, on their suppliers, they do a favor to their suppliers. But obviously it's much more difficult for a small company, let's say a supplier with 100 employees, not 3,000. It's much more difficult to work it into its system. It's easy with companies like Osem and Nuva that you mentioned in your book, but it's more challenging in small companies. But we'll come to that as well.
Indeed, but also great opportunities. So your advice to other companies that might be thinking about how do we expand our pool of potential talent, what would be your key advice?
If they do it independently, let's say, without, they should be aware that they tread in a very sensitive environment, especially in Israel, which touches Jews-Arabs relationship. So we should listen very, very carefully what is said by the various parties. You should try to identify the undercurrents, which are not which are not presented in the words which are being spoken, and be patient.
Which of course is why it makes so much sense for companies that do want to make themselves more attractive and to recruit from the Arab-Israeli community to do so in collaboration with an organization like Co-Impact.
Well, I believe so, but I very much hope that in the near future they won't need us.
Of course. Zvi, thank you so much.
My
thank you very
pleasure.
much. Thank you.